Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Now this is a little bit different. I have been asked to do this so many times because I know a lot of you guys want to document your travels, or you want to put your travels onto YouTube and you don't know what you need, or you don't know quite what you don't need really. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks at the end, so make sure you stay put and stay tuned. All right, before we get into this week's episode, guys, just going to remind you guys that the easiest way to support our small little 5 Down Under channel is just by pressing that red subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for supporting our small little channel, guys, and let's get into this week's episode. If you want to start a YouTube channel, that's totally easy as well. Literally just grab an account and upload a video. That's all we did in the beginning. Everyone starts from zero, and it is quite nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. And I remember, I think our first video went live, and I think after like a week, maybe 100 people had saw it, and I just thought, oh my God. We truly only put them up on YouTube for ourselves and for our friends and family that didn't, they didn't know what their grandchildren were doing and all that jazz. You know what, in the end, so many of you guys have come along for our travels, and it has been so bloody nice to actually talk to a camera and there's someone listening on the other side of it. I love memories. I love looking back on stuff, and you know what? The kids already look back on our videos from places, and I think that's really special. So if you're on the fence about whether you want to document your travels, whether you want to put them on YouTube or not, you can literally put them on YouTube and put them on as private, and then if you ever did want to share them, you can. I would say just do it, and if you ever get to the point where you don't like it anymore, just stop. You have to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours before you start getting paid by YouTube. Anyway, let's get stuck into this video and let me show you what I think you need to either document your travels or to do a YouTube channel. Right, the first one you might notice is a new little addition. Look, I'm not going to lie, they're pretty cheap. They're not the best ones out there, but we didn't want to pay for, there's ones out there that are nearly $200. I think they're just over $200. And for us, we don't use it that much. I think we've used it, this is probably the 3rd or 4th episode that we've ever used them on. And you know what? I just didn't want to pay that much money for something that I think this does a good enough job on. Magic Pop mic. I think they were just under $40, and I thought, well, I don't really have anything to lose, and I didn't, and they came and they were great. There's a little bit that actually goes into the camera, and then you've got 2 microphones in here as well. All you have to do is turn the 2 microphones on, or just the one, and you pop the other end into the camera and it picks up everything you're saying. You can literally walk off and still keep talking and it will pick up everything. If you're not dead looking at the camera and speaking like this, sometimes the camera won't pick it up. TJ's really bad for it. He will literally look away and he will start talking, and I'm like, babe, they won't hear you. If you have a partner like that, you might need these microphones. I think these do a great job. Sometimes the sound quality can be a bit crazy if you are shouting. Sometimes TJ wears it up here and it's on his collar, and sometimes the quality can be a little bit off. But yeah, like for us, we're not doing anything crazy with it. We're just doing a couple of voiceovers and whatever. So yes, so I think this is amazing. Anyway, so everything will be linked down below in the description box if you want to go and have a look at anything. I will find everything for you and I will link it below. The second thing is a camera. You need a camera, right? But the amazing thing is you can do everything on your phone if you want to. The only thing I recommend is you must film in landscape. If you don't and you film in portrait, there'll only be part of your television screen that is full with your screen on it. You might have to double up and put a couple of your videos on there. So if you film in landscape, you'll make sure that that will fill up the whole of your TV screen. If you're just starting off and you want to see if it's for you, start with your phone. And then if you do find it's for you and you want to go a little bit more, then I personally think a GoPro is amazing. Or like what we're using now, we're using a DJI Action 3. We started off with GoPros. We have been through them all. We've got a GoPro 8, which is now our water camera. We have a GoPro 9. The only reason why we went to a DJI Action 3, which is what you're watching on me on now, personally, I actually like the quality of it better. We had a little bit of a scare. I opened up the battery pack and there was water inside the battery pack. I thought we were done for. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my God, I've never been so scared because we had about a week's worth of footage on the, what's that called? Oh yeah, didn't know what it was called. We literally had about a week's worth of footage on our SD card. 48 hours after it went on, fantastic. But that did scar me for life. So now we only ever use our GoPro 8 underwater. This handle here is fantastic, absolutely floats, and you can see it as well. So if you ever drop it, you don't know where it is, you will find it because it's bright orange. But yeah, so we always use our GoPro 8 now. So we have two separate cameras that we use. So I always use this in water, and then I use a DJI from every day. And then if I ever have another shot that I want to take at the same time, we do have the extra GoPro 9 to use. Look, you do not need 3 cameras. I'm telling you, you do not need 3 cameras. My recommendation is just to get a waterproof protection for it though. They are supposed to be waterproof. I wouldn't ever go without a waterproof cover again. So take that as you will. But my opinion is, you know, there's a lot of cameras out there that are very expensive. They're in the thousands of dollars, and look, the quality of them is amazing. They truly are amazing. But if you aren't doing anything serious and you're definitely at the beginning, or you just want to see if it's for you, don't go out there and spend loads of money unless you have already got the camera. GoPros are amazing. The quality of them is amazing. Let's talk about this little bad boy. Now, what the hell is this? The worst thing you can ever do, which we have done before, is have bad sound quality. Seriously, there's nothing worse. You're in this beautiful, say, beach or city or whatever, and it looks amazing, and then all you hear is it's absolutely nothing worse. We actually, at the beginning with our GoPros, we had the media mount, and then you can actually put a dead cat on it. So we tried the dead cat. This is a Rode one. Look, it was better than just the camera by itself, and it picked up our voices, but it also still picked up the wind, in my opinion. I found something so much better, and it was so cheap. It literally slipped. There's ones for the GoPro as well. This one slips straight onto the DJI. So it actually covers where the microphones pick up, you know, your voices and the wind. And I reckon they are bloody amazing. I reckon they take out a good 95% of the wind, which is way more than the other one. They were so cheap as well, which is amazing, and I literally recommend them so much. They do look a little bit silly on the camera, but I'd rather look a little bit silly and get really good sound quality than, you know, you're testing it, you're on the beach, it's a bit windy, it looks amazing, but then all you can hear is Right, so the one thing that I would not skimp on at all is buying pretty large SD cards. I have 3 128 gigabytes of SD cards simply because I don't ever want to run out. Imagine if you were in the most incredible spot. Imagine if you were halfway on your Carragini walk and you run out of memory card. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine anything worse. Yeah, so in my opinion, I would definitely not skimp on getting larger SD cards. That way you're never ever going to miss out on any part of your trip. And where are you going to put all of that footage? On some hard drives. So this is 15 months of traveling in 5 hard drives. If you want to keep your footage and you want to keep your videos, you need to store them somewhere safe. Off your computer, otherwise that's just going to log up your computer. My only opinion on hard drives, not that I know much about them, if you can try and get ones that already have your attachment on there for the laptop or computer that you're using, get those. So this one here didn't have it. It had a USB. I needed to put one in there for my Apple Mac. The only problem with this is that it's quite a loose connection over time. Every time you move the computer with the hard drive in it, or I used to do editing in the car while we were driving, every bump or whatever would just loosen it. It would disconnect from the computer, and now I have a dodgy hard drive. Sometimes my computer picks it up, sometimes it doesn't. There's no worse feeling than thinking all your footage is gone. So like this one already comes with the attachment that I need for my Apple Mac. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for hard drives, because I didn't even think about that when I was looking. But yeah, connection is key. All right, let's talk about probably one of the most exciting parts. This little bad boy. So we have the DJI Mavic Air 2S, the drone. Oh my god, do I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the best thing ever. Do you need a drone on your travels? Absolutely not. Should you get one if you can? Absolutely yes. They are the best thing ever. I've said it before. What you see on your eye line is completely different to what you see up in the air. The colors change. The landscape is just absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't be without it. So I know they're a bit of an investment, but you know what? When you see that footage at the end, oh my gosh. So our DJI drone comes with 3 of these batteries, and it also comes with a controller that you just lift up with this and you pop your phone in there. So your phone becomes part of the drone. Download an app onto your phone, and then you watch your drone in the air on your phone while you're controlling it with the controller. And I had a go, and I literally have fallen in love with drones, and now TJ doesn't do it at all. The only place we actually haven't droned because it was so windy, because that's the one thing you really have to be careful about, especially like the weather, rain, wind. But it was so windy on the Nullarbor, and we just did not dare put it up and have a look at the cliffs, because we just thought, I don't know, I just thought it's going to go over and it's going to land straight into the water and I've got no drone. But when we go back there, I'm going to give it a go, and because it's, you know what, some of those places you cannot see for yourself until you've got a drone, and it's just wild. So that's enough about drones, but seriously, if you can get one, I would recommend it. Do you need one? Absolutely not, but you kind of do. The last must-have is, of course, if you're wanting to do your own editing, you need to have a laptop. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It just needs to have enough storage on there to be able to run, say, a program for your video editing if you want to actually edit your videos, or just store it onto a hard drive. You just need something that will be able to do that properly. Again, I'm not tech savvy, so I don't know, but the Apple Mac was probably the only choice for us. We kind of knew the brand, we knew they were good. They are a little bit pricey, but we did know that we were giving YouTube a red hot crack, so this is why we went with the Apple Mac. All right, so let's talk about some of the subscriptions that subscriptions now. Okay, let's talk about some of the subscriptions that we have. Okay, so the first one is Epidemic Sound. If you are looking to put your stuff onto YouTube, you have to be so careful about not using copyrighted music. It's number one. YouTube won't have it. Your videos will be shut off, and your account may actually be locked off as well, which is not what you want. There are a couple of free sites that I have seen, but you don't actually get a crazy amount of range of music. Now, if anyone knows of any, please put them down below. I love a freebie, so let me know your opinion. I have seen a couple around, but the range of music wasn't there for me. Whereas I have Epidemic Sound. I'm going to put all the costs down below of what we pay a month. Look, it gives me non-copyrighted music, which is amazing. There are so many songs and music on here. It's actually incredible. You've got jazz, classical, rock, guitar, you've got people singing, you've got people just playing instruments, sound effects, you know, you've got animals, and there's just a crazy amount that you can do with this. If you're really looking at doing something on YouTube, then you need to be careful with copyrighted music. Hold on, I need to change Freddie's nappy. All right, crisis averted. Let's talk about our next subscription. So we actually have Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, there are a few freebies out there that we didn't find out about until we'd actually paid for our little contract with this. I learned everything I needed to know through YouTube tutorials, which was amazing because I had no one else to teach me. So look, if you want to use this, it's absolutely amazing, easy to use once you have figured it all out. But there is actually some free ones as well. So you've got iMovie, we've heard DaVinci is good as well. There might be a couple more. So when our contract is actually up with these guys, we will be swapping to see if the free ones are as good as people say they are. All right, so I've shown you everything that we use and what you don't need. You don't need expensive setups, you really don't. You don't need a drone, you don't need the most expensive camera. You can start off with your phone if you want to. So you don't need the flashes of the flashes to upload a video onto YouTube and start sharing your journey. So if you are wanting to do YouTube, I'm going to give you some of my best tips and tricks that I have learned along the way. The first one is, as soon as you get home from being out and about and you've used your camera all day, you've used your drone all day, come home and put your batteries on charge straight away. The DJI batteries, they actually take a 240-volt plug, so just be aware of that. So unless you have an inverter and you're off grid, you can't charge them. We have been stuck a couple of times where we just come home, we forget, we go out the next day and I've got like 1 bar left on my DJI drone. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to put some footage in here now. I got stuck one time. I had 2 of these, had 1 bar on them, and you don't know if it's a full 1 bar or a tiny bit of 1 bar, and I took a risk, and that risk nearly killed our drone. So I was going over a river. I literally had just lifted it up from the ground and I went over a river and it only just made it, and then it started going beep 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 and it was out. I had to go climbing for it. It was bloody hilarious, but I learned a massive lesson that day. Second to that would be, when as soon as you come home, is to upload all of your footage straight onto your computer and then onto your hard drives. Like my little mishap that happened in Perth with my GoPro, and we thought we'd lost all of the footage. That was so scary, and ever since then, every single time we have gone out and done something, I've uploaded it into my laptop and hard drive straight away. All right, there's one thing that I didn't do for the first, I reckon, 6 months of YouTube, which was so silly of me. And if you look back onto our videos, you'll probably realize on some of them I've kind of got away with it on some of the videos, but most of my thumbnails were horrible. And it's so silly because, you know what, you forget. I forget. You're just out there having a good old time, and then you go home, you edit the video, and then you go, oh, I've got no photo for the front photo, like for the thumbnail of YouTube. So whenever you are out and about somewhere, try and remember to take a really good photo. It has to be landscape, that way it fits on a nice thumbnail properly. And then when you're looking at it, try and do it so that you have enough space at the top or at the bottom to put your writing. So kind of imagine when you're taking the actual photo where your writing might go, and that way it'll make it a little bit easier when you're editing and doing your thumbnail. Quality content is way better than having the best of the best equipment. Yes, it might look a little bit better, but people aren't going to watch you if your content is not as good. So in my opinion, really focus on your content, what your episodes might look like, have different things going on in your episodes to make it interesting, and don't worry about what you have. You know, if you're going to do it on your phone to start with, absolutely amazing. Have fun with it as well, but really think about quality content if you're really wanting to get your subscribers on board and they want to watch your videos every single week. I've also said this in the video, audio is so important. Quality content, sure, absolutely amazing. It's quality content with crappy audio, people might not watch you. So really think about getting one of the wind protection things for your GoPro or your DJI camera. Find something like this, that is going to allow you to rarely have any problems. Like I said, if you're wanting to grow your YouTube loves when you are on a schedule, you're consistent, but also your viewers love that too. So you guys might have noticed that every single Wednesday around 4 or 5, we upload a video. So you guys know when it's coming out, and you start knowing when your favorite YouTubers upload videos. If you're doing it once every 2 weeks or every month, when you could be doing it every week, people might not subscribe because they don't know that you're coming up with consistent videos. So remember, if you want to grow your YouTube channel, you do normally have to get about 50 to 100 videos out there to get any kind of traction with YouTube. So yeah, being consistent is very important. My last tip is just to have fun with it, seriously, and be yourself. There's no one else like you on the internet, so don't try and be someone else. people will come along for you and your travels. Have fun with it. If it ever does get too much, because I've been there before, take a little break. Think about it. If you just want to take some videos for yourself for a while, and not worry about uploading YouTube. Never do something that you feel pressured to do, because it just doesn't become enjoyable. Truly have fun with it. It's super cool. We have you guys now on the other end of our camera, so how cool is that? Interaction with you guys is actually priceless, and I absolutely freaking love it. This has been super fun this week to do something a little bit different. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next week on our next week's adventure.
You blow my mind. I don't know if you know yet. I've tried sometimes.